go to the journal, and then we'll come back to the PPT when we have to. Okay, so please write down this problem. This is an example for the negative pressure in your YouTube manometer. A simple YouTube manometer containing mercury is connected to a pipe in which a fluid of specific gravity 0.8 having vacuum pressure, negative pressure, having vacuum pressure is flowing. The other end of the manometer is open to the atmosphere. Find the vacuum pressure in pipe if the difference of mercury level in the two limbs is 40 centimeter and the height of fluid in the left leg or limb, left limb, you write, in the left limb from the center of the pipe is 15 centimeter below. Okay, that is the question. Now, like I was telling you the other day, sometimes in the question paper also, they will give you the figure. Okay, because otherwise it will be so much, the sentence will become so much complicated to put it in words. But sometimes figure may not be there. They will put everything in words. So when it is vacuum, you should remember that from the datum level on the right limb, which is open to the atmosphere, there will be no mercury above the datum. Mercury will be there only below. In the other case, it will go above. Okay, that is a small thing that you should remember. So now if I am saying the same question what we were given, if I draw the figure for that. Okay, I have this. The center I will mark like this. So from this point, I am having the U-tube connected. Then they have given it as negative pressure, all that. So I need only make the U-tube. Okay, and I will put one reference data. I'll call it as A or BB, whatever. So for me here, this will not go above that. Here it will be because it is below atmospheric pressure. Here it will be slightly up. So this becomes my condition. Now, What have they given? Specific gravity of the fluid, 0.8. And then they are saying that the difference of mercury level in the two limbs is 40. So that means if I draw a line here, this gap, for me it's a very small figure, you can draw it a little bigger. This is 40, difference of level between mercury. It is centimeter. I'm not writing centimeter because I don't have the space. Okay, and now the fluid, whatever is there in your pipe, that will be filling up to here. Now what are they saying? The height of the fluid in the left limb from the center of the pipe. So center of the pipe means this place. Okay, from here it is 15 centimeter. I'm just writing 15. So 15 centimeter below. So from the center, the height of the fluid is 15 centimeter. Okay. Now, Harshita. Harshita, can you unmute? Harshita. Harsha, tell me. Hi, can you hear me?
Ma'am, the voice is breaking, ma'am.
My voice?
Yes, I think some network delay.
Okay. It's okay. Just wait. Harshita, give me what all data are given with respect to the question. Suppose I write S1 for the fluid. What is S1 given in the question? For the fluid, I am writing S1. What is S1 given in the question?
Yes? 0.8, ma'am.
Yeah. Are you finding a problem with my voice? Is it breaking?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Maybe it's her network. Okay, then we will continue. Who is this speaking?
Adarsh, ma'am.
Okay, Adarsh, can we continue? S1 is 0.8 for the fluid. So what is
Yes, ma'am.
the second fluid here and what is the specific gravity of that?
Ma'am, mercury.
So what should I?
13.6.
Very good, 13.6. Done. Now, what will be the density of the fluid in this?
800, ma'am.
So this again I will not repeat. I am assuming everybody has known. So rho 2 will be how much?
Ma'am,
Rho 2.
13.6 into 13,600, ma'am.
Correct. Yeah. So this much is done. Okay. Now 40 centimeters. You have to write it as 0.4 meters. And 15 centimeters, you have to write it as 0.15 meter. Now let us balance the pressure. Okay. So this is the total. On the right leg, there is nothing. So equate to 0. So I will call this point as A for the time being. So PA, pressure at the point A. Plus, this is the column of fluid. We are calling it as rho 1, G and H1. I'll first write the formula so that rho 1, G, H1. This is for your fluid which is in the pipe. Plus, the mercury or the manometric fluid I'm using rho 2, G, H2 is equal to 0. You all agree this is the expression that we have to use, correct? I want some response.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I don't know whether my network is having issues or somebody else's, but if it is theirs, others will not be able to hear. So maybe it is a problem. So plus rho 1 is 800 into 9.8. H1 is, I'll write it here itself. H1 will be equal to, I am writing in terms of the fluid. Fluid depth is 15. This is centimeter. So I'm writing it here as 0.15 meter. So I will multiply it by 0.15. Any doubts? Anyone? Anyone? plus 13600. This is density into 9.8 for mercury or the manometric fluid in this case into, see the height of the mercury column here is 40 centimeters. So I will write it H2 here, 40 as 0.4 meters. So I will multiply by 0.4 and I'll equate this to 0. So now I will get my pressure at the point A. You will have a negative answer for this because it is a vacuum pressure. The pressure is less than atmospheric pressure. Do it and tell me the answer.
Minus 75,160.
75. Some difference is there. Can others also calculate and tell me? What we have written here is correct. But accordingly, are you getting that?
Minus 54,488.
This is correct. Minus. So please, the first person whoever answered, I think it was Adarsh only, 54,005.
I didn't answer.
No, then who was that? Somebody answered. I'm so sorry. Yeah. 54,543. Yeah. Or 44.
488, ma'am.
Okay. 1 minute. 54,488. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
That 9.81 and 9.8, some difference will be there. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Small difference will come because you are multiplying it with big numbers. No. Some people will use 9.81. So 54488,
ma'am.
88. You can write it in kilonewton if you want when you get big numbers like this. So whoever made the mistake earlier, please see what happened to your calculation. Very simple calculation. Understood? The only difficult part will be if they are giving you so much in words and you have to convert it into a figure. But in your mind, the figure should be very clear. If it is gauge pressure, mercury will be considered, that level will come into calculation only in the right leg. In the left leg, it will be the fluid only. Though sometimes in the textbook figure which I drew also, you will find a little mercury they are showing on the left leg. But that is not considered. We are assuming that the entire pressure is because of the fluid in the left leg. So pressure in the pipe plus pressure of the fluid in the left leg is equal to pressure of mercury in the right leg for gauge pressure. Whereas for vacuum pressure, pressure of fluid in the pipe plus pressure of the fluid length plus the pressure of mercury in the pipe is equal to 0 because there is nothing in the right leg. Have all of you done this? Girls, one of you please, will you answer if you can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you have done the problem, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So we will go back to the other screen where I want to go to single tube manometers and then we will come back to the numericals after that. So we will come back here and we will quickly look at. So we finished with what was called as your simple manometers. We finished piezometer. Okay. We finished. So piezometer, usually very complicated questions they can't ask. They can only say head is in the piezometer is so much, calculate pressure. P is equal to rho GH. So nothing else to do in that. U-tube manometer, you have both gauge pressure consideration and the vacuum pressure consideration. Then the third type of simple manometer was a single column manometer. Now I'll just quickly come down to the figure below and then we'll come back here. See how the single column manometer looks different from a U-tube manometer. So this is the pipe, okay, where you want to measure pressure. But look at the construction of the single column manometer. You have a large chamber like structure constructed along with the thin U tube. This chamber they call by the term reservoir, and the area of this reservoir is almost 100 times more than the cross-sectional area of the pipe. So that means if there is a small level difference here, it will not be noticed. Very small, 1 millimeter drop here, there will be an appreciable change in the tube. It's like from a big vessel, small 2-3 drops are moving down also. Because this tube is very narrow, you will find an appreciable difference here. That type of a measurement manometer is called as a vertical column manometer, a single column manometer. So single column manometer can be defined as, because if they are asking you the definition, it is a modified form of a U-tube manometer in which there is a reservoir. Reservoir is a big container having a large cross-sectional area, about 100 times compared to the area of the tube which is connected. That is, the U-tube which is connected to that is very thin, very small. Area is almost 1/100th of that of your reservoir or big chamber. Due to the large cross-sectional area of the reservoir, for any variation in pressure, so any variation in pressure means in the reservoir there is a small dip or lowering. The change in the liquid level in the reservoir will be very small, which may be neglected, and hence the pressure is given by the height of the liquid in the other column, because even though this measurement will be very small, because your other tube is so thin, there will be a nice rise in that limb. If the other limb is vertical, like I showed in the figure, we call it as a vertical single column manometer. If the pipe, which is the thin pipe, if it is inclined, not perfectly vertical like in the other figure, we call it as inclined single column manometer. Okay, so coming back once again, manometers and pressure gauges are pressure measuring devices. In manometers, we use fluid columns to balance to measure the pressure. It can be the same fluid, it can be different fluid. Now, manometers can be basically two categories: simple manometers and differential manometers. All simple manometers are used to find pressure at one point in the fluid. Okay. In that category, we are having a piezometer, we are having a U-tube manometer, and we are having a single column manometer. The other two we have finished looking at. Single column manometer, construction wise, compared to your U-tube manometer, you have a large reservoir like container attached to the U-tube. The thin pipe of the U-tube is open to the atmosphere. But because this reservoir area is almost 100 times that of the thin tube, if there is a small change in pressure here which may not be noticeable, it will give an appreciable height increase in the tube which is attached to the reservoir. Now, if the tube attached to the reservoir, or the right limb as we are calling it, is vertical, then we call it as a vertical single column manometer. If the right limb attached to the reservoir is inclined, then we call it as inclined single column manometer. So first we have to look at the vertical single column manometer. So this is the figure. Now they are showing you a pipe, center of the pipe A, we are attaching the U-tube there. So this U-tube is slightly different from the other U-tube what we are talking. There is a reservoir, and the reservoir is attached to a thin pipe which is open to the atmosphere. Now, here this is the heavy fluid. The dark color is the heavy fluid. The fluid flowing in your pipe is shown as the dotted lines. So here they are taking XX as the datum line. Reference line is taken as XX. So pressure is measured above atmospheric pressure, above the XX line. We are taking that as the datum line. So when the manometer is connected to the pipe, due to the pressure in the pipe, there will be a lowering in the level of the manometric fluid. So suppose the level drop in your reservoir is given by delta H. Delta H means very small h. So the drop because of the pressure in A which is happening. So initially it was still here. Because of the pressure in the fluid, it is come down, and that value is given by delta H. You can look at it here. Delta H is the fall of heavy liquid in the reservoir. H1 is the height of the center of the pipe from the reference line XX or datum line XX. So H1 is column of fluid which we are trying to measure pressure. Let PA be the pressure at point A. Capital A, big cross-sectional area, because this is like a big reservoir tank. So let A be the cross-sectional area, capital A for the reservoir, and let small a be the cross-sectional area for the thin tube. So another small function that is coming into picture here compared to your YouTube is delta H, which is drop in the fluid, heavy fluid in the reservoir. Another two terms that came is area of the reservoir, capital A, and area of the thin up vertical pipe as small a. These are the different other terms that has come compared to what you have done in your YouTube manometer. Let S1 be the specific gravity of this fluid, S2 be the specific gravity of the heavy fluid. Rho 1 will be the density of this fluid, Rho 2 will be the density of the fluid in the heavy fluid. Now, fall of heavy liquid in the reservoir will cause a rise of liquid in the right limb. So small fall, but it is rising high in the other tube, and that height they have given by H2. Rise above the same datum line because of this small fall. So because the area is large there, delta H small is coming, but because it is entering into a very thin tube, that H2 is so high. Okay. Now we are balancing both the fall in the reservoir with the gain in the tube. So area of cross section capital A into drop small h. So this becomes volume of drop, cross sectional area into height. Same small a into H2. So you have capital A into delta H is equal to small a into H2. Now we can rewrite this expression as delta H is small a into H2 divided by capital A, which is taken from here. Okay. Now consider the datum YY. Okay. And the pressure in the limb above YY. So this is the YY. The new drop place is YY. So pressure in this limb will be because of H2 plus this delta H, or delta H, which is the distance between the X and Y datum. So coming back here, the pressure in the right limb above YY will be, because that fluid is manometric fluid, it is rho 2 G into delta H plus H2. And the pressure in the left limb will also be given because of PA plus this is H1 and this is delta H. Okay, so H1 plus delta H into the density of this fluid rho 1 into G. Okay, so we are balancing same like what we have done in the YouTube. So here you get rho 1 because it is your fluid, G delta H plus H1 plus the pressure inside the pipeline, and then you are equating the two. Okay, so everywhere you just need to remember the figure, original figure, and then you will be able to write the equation for balancing the liquid column on the left hand side and the right hand side. From this equation, finally, we will get the expression PA is equal to A into H2 divided by A into rho 2G minus rho 1G plus H2 rho 2G minus H1 rho 1G. We are not memorizing this equation and all. We are just understanding how it is being done. When we do the numerical, depending on the figure that is coming, we will write the equation for left limb and right limb. So there's no need that you actually have to memorize by heart this. But sometimes they will ask you like a theory question, write the expression. Then you need to do like a derivation and show. Else it will be substitution in a problem there. Depending on the problem like we were doing earlier, you will draw the sketch and write the balancing equation. Now, in this expression, what is happening? You are having small a divided by capital A here. This capital A is supposed to be 100 times greater than your small a. So that means A by A, small a by capital A is a very small figure. So they are saying ignore that. Okay. Ignoring that, what will become? H2 will be there. H2 into rho 2G minus rho 1G plus H2 into rho 2G. So you get 2 times rho 2G there, H2G there. Minus H1 rho 1G. So how will the equation become? The equation will get transformed to PA is equal to H2 rho 2G minus H1 rho 1G. So we have arrived at what is the pressure at a fluid point in a pipe when you are having a vertical or single vertical column manometer attached to it. Now, suppose instead of vertical column, the right limb is inclined at an angle theta. So we know that when liquid is coming down and entering like this, if it enters vertical, that height will be less, but inclined length will be more. So here what we are doing is just a little bit of what we used to do, sin theta, cos theta. If I know the distance in the incline, L, then my vertical will be L sin theta. So only that difference is there, but we will quickly look at that also. So this figure is that of a single column manometer, but it is inclined. So what do you mean by a vertical single column manometer? When the right limb is perfectly vertical and facing the atmosphere. Whereas the same single column manometer can be called as inclined if your right limb is inclined at an angle of some degrees. Okay, and then it becomes an inclined manometer. But in your mind, you should have that when there is an inclined distance, the inclined distance becomes more compared to the vertical distance. Hence, we need to be able to calculate the vertical. That's the only point. So the figure shows an inclined single column manometer. This manometer is very sensitive. Due to the inclination, the distance moved by the heavy fluid in the right leg will be more. Okay. Let same condition. Okay. X datum, from X we are dropping the manometer because of the pressure of fluid here. It is dropping down by delta H. That delta H will cause push up in this, and that we are giving as L be the length of heavy liquid moved in the right limb from X. Reference datum. Theta be the angle of inclination. H2, instead of there you had directly H2, here H2 is the vertical distance, which is given by L sin theta. So the vertical will become L sin theta. That is the only difference. So instead of writing H2, we will have to replace it by L sin theta. Sorry. So we will replace it by L sin theta. So write the equation for the pressure at PA. Here PA will become H2 sigma 2, sorry, H2 rho 2G, the same formula that we derived earlier, minus H1 rho 1G. But here H2 will be replaced by L sin theta. Okay, here I think the L they have missed out in the textbook by mistake. So L sin theta will be there. So substituting the value of H2, we will get PA is equal to that. So this is what is meant by a vertical column manometer. So we have simple manometers, we have differential manometers. In simple manometer, we can have a piezometer, we can have a U-tube manometer, we can have a vertical column manometer. This vertical column manometer, single column manometer. This single column manometer can either be vertical or it can be inclined. These are our total simple manometers. So in this, the only thing that you need to remember is how to balance the left leg pressure equation to the head or pressure equation on the right limb. Okay. Difference between simple U-tube and our single column manometer is that here you have a big reservoir attached to the U-tube. This reservoir's area is almost 100 times more than the area of cross section of the limb on the right side. So because of that, even if there is a small drop of head here, there will be a considerable gain in the height in the other limb. One is perfectly vertical and the other is inclined. The inclined distance you are writing, the vertical distance you are writing in terms of the inclination. That's all here. So now we will come back to numericals. Okay. So for
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, on what basis is that XX line?
XX is just a reference data. I will come back to the first figure here. This XX is a reference datum at the starting. So what we will imagine at the starting, if you want, we can draw two figures for you to understand. But in the textbook and all, he gives only one figure. This is material terms. So what you should imagine is, initially, this is the level of mercury. Okay. So that means both the tubes, mercury will be at this level. Okay. Imagine like that. Is that
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, when this U-tube is attached to a pipeline, okay, can we do one thing? I will try to draw it and show you on my pad.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Understand it better. 1 second. Give me a minute. I'll stop this. Just to make you understand that better, because instead of drawing two figures, they are just giving a direct figure. So if I draw two figures, probably your confusion there will be very much removed. Okay, so give me a minute. Yeah. So what I'm telling is, now we are having a single column manometer. Okay. So single column vertical manometer. First, what we will do, we will draw only the manometer. Then on that figure itself, I will attach. So this is the manometer. It has got a big reservoir like this. I'm drawing for the vertical one. Okay. Don't mind my little crooked lines and all, because sometimes this pen just slips from the hand. Yeah. Okay. So this is the level of mercury in the initial place. All this is dark mercury. Got it? Can you tell who was the person who asked me?
Adarsh, ma'am.
Okay, Adarsh. See, this is the initial level in this pipe and this pipe. This is our datum reference level because it is now exposed to atmosphere, right? Instead of writing it here, I'm writing it now here. Now, what am I doing? I'm connecting this with a pipe where some fluid like water is flowing under pressure. Now what happens? There is pressure here. This will push down on the surface. Now I will draw the new line here. This becomes your YY. Now, did you understand? So when it got,
No.
this is going down like that, simultaneously from here, it will rise up. Got it? So,
Yes, ma'am.
how much lowering is happening from here with respect to XX? That much it will go up from the X on the right limb. Because here it may show only delta H, but because this pipe is very small, it will go up that much here. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever we say reference line, that will be when the U-tube is not connected to any pipe or vessel where you want to measure pressure. The minute you connect it to the pipe or vessel, what happens? The pressure there is going to push your manometric fluid down and cause it to rise in the limb, whether it is U-tube or here. But here it becomes more because that small depression that is happening from here to here, delta H, is causing this much rise here. Got it, Adarsh?
Yes, ma'am.
So can we go to the problem now?
Yes, ma'am.
We have about 15 minutes. We can do it. I think one problem we'll finish. Okay, write down the problem. A single column manometer. A single column manometer is connected to a pipe containing a fluid of specific gravity 0.9 as shown. Okay, so they're giving a figure and they're giving it there. Find the pressure in the pipe if the area of the reservoir is 100 times the area of the tube for the manometer reading shown in the figure. The specific gravity of mercury. So in this question, he is giving it to you. Okay. The specific gravity of mercury is 13.6. And this is the figure that they are giving you. So one pipe. Okay. The center of the pipe, we'll call it as A. You are attaching a vertical single column manometer to that. We have the reservoir whose area is 100 times that of the pipe. And then we have our U-tube. For the vertical one, okay. Okay. So here the fluid is there, and here everything is given in the figure, so we have to take it from the figure only. From here, instead of marking mercury dark, I'm just doing this. This is mercury, okay? It's going up above the point A. I'll go up till here. Okay, all that is mercury. So what he has given in the question is, from the point A, the fluid head is 20 centimeter, and from the same level, the head of mercury in the right limb is 40 centimeter. This is the question. We just have to write a balancing equation and solve. So, who will give me? Mohammed Sanif is there? No. Tarun? Tarun? Okay, no response. So, hereafter, when I'm asking questions like that, if I don't get a response, I will mark you absent. Syed Nisamuddin, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
So, suppose I'm taking S1 for the, what is a fluid. What is the S1 given in the question? Fluid is S1 I'm taking. What is S1 value given?
Point
0.9,
nine,
ma'am.
0.9. So row 1 will be
0.9.
how much? Nisamuddin, row 1 will be how much?
Then 900, ma'am.
Very good. But I always want with units. Okay. Whenever you say, you tell with units. It will be a practice for you. S2 is what?
Okay.
S2 is what?
13.6, ma'am.
Okay. So what is row 2?
Then 13600, ma'am.
Okay. Kg per meter cube. Correct? Okay. Now they have given capital A by small a is 100. Correct? A is 100 times small a. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now what is, suppose I write for this fluid, head over the reference. So now this is our reference datum, right? They have given this. So this is my reference datum. So what is H1 for the fluid?
0.20.
0.2 meters. And what is H2 for the heavy fluid?
0.4.
0.4. Okay. Now let's write the equation. Pressure at A plus rho 1 G H1 is how much?
One 1744.
Or we can also do one thing. We can use the expression that we have derived there earlier. The expression that we got it, that also can be used. Okay. That A by A expression that we get, right? We can use that expression. I will write the expression here, so we don't have to come back to that.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, no delta H, ma'am, for this.
That's why I'm saying. So because of they have not given for how much drop, how much is there, for us to include that A by A will become difficult here. Understood? So we can directly use the expression which we have arrived at in our derivation. So we'll have to do the derivation here once again and then do it. So it becomes little more. So we can directly use that expression. PA is A by A into H2 rho 2 G sorry, minus rho 1 G plus H2 rho 2 G minus H1 rho 1 G. Calculate and tell the answer. Finally, it will become H2 rho 2G minus H1 rho 1G. And small differences that A by A they have given 1 by 100 it will become, because they have given capital A is 100 times more than small a. It doesn't matter much. If you just remember it as rho 2, H2 rho 2G minus H1 rho 1G is also fine. In the exam, you can do that. There's no problem. Calculate and we will discuss in the afternoon. I'll give you some numericals in the afternoon. So in the exam, if you feel that you're going to get confused with this, just use H2 rho 2G minus H1 rho 1G, because we know that this becomes so small, we are ignoring. Then here you will get 1, here you will get another. When you do the subtraction, you will get it as that equation. So please complete that.